Alright, here we go. Llewellyn facing off against St. Charles. Out at Carmichael Arena. Puck comes out front. Judd chips it up. Kept in by Llewellyn. Llewellyn sends it deep in the zone. Foul in the corner. Judd chips it up. Gets it over the blue line past JoJo. Chichu chips it up. It's kept in the zone. JoJo gets it over the blue line. Jolie knocks it back into their zone. Gallo picks up the puck, turns. Couple St. Charles players in the way. Now they get it up in the zone. Shot fired, blocked in front. Pass blocked by Judd. Now puck's back for Kalen. Off the boards. Harris after it. Moore gets it back for Llewellyn. D to D. They're back in the zone. In the corner. Pass in front from Taylor. Doesn't connect. Llewellyn gets it down low. In comes Manini. Sends that behind the net. Manini tied up down low, getting some help from Bryant, kept in by Llewellyn. Off the side of the net, Bryant chips it around. Picked up by St. Charles, back to Bryant. Bryant hands it off. Carly Shea takes it in the zone. She gets a shot. Save is made. Off the draw, back to the blue line, D to D, into the zone, comes back. Gation gets it back in the zone for Llewellyn. St. Charles chips it up, Carrington chips it out of the zone. Avery gets it into Llewellyn territory. She gets in front, her shot off the goalie. That's Barsanti with the save. Now Carrington gets the loose puck in the neutral zone. Back for Judd, off the boards for Manini. Manini over the blue line into the zone. Regroup in the neutral zone. Oh, he's calling icing. So a step away from the blue line, or red line, sorry. Icing called. Off the draw, Harris sends it back. Manini fires it up the boards to Manini. We look up the side, it kept in by Llewellyn. Now we send it up the other way. Up center, kept in by Llewellyn. Now Bryant gets the puck, it's tripped up, gets it up into the zone. Try to get that out front, Llewellyn in the way. Llewellyn chips it down low. Bryant chips it back up. And we hit Carly at center with it. Across for Bryant into the zone. Alyssa takes it behind the net. Some pressure from Llewellyn. Manini gets it back, but Llewellyn sends it back in our zone. D to D pass. Oh, there we go, Bryant. Gets it up for Angus. Angus in the zone. Her shot goes wide. Palize after it. And in comes Manini. She keeps the puck in the zone. Chichu gets it back in our zone for Llewellyn. There we go. Judd stops her there. Gets some help from Carrington. Carrington gets it to the blue line. Now Kalen gets it out. Up for Manini. Manini at the red line. Got some pressure. Llewellyn comes to the side. Over the blue. Puck goes down low. St. Charles in the corner, gets a piece of it. But Llewellyn now centers it, can't connect in front. Manini gets a puck back for St. Charles. Comes up through the neutral zone. Gets through a couple players, puck goes down low. Chichu fires up the boards. St. Charles fires it across the crease, no one there. Gation gets that out of the zone. Nope, kept in Now JoJo takes it out into Sudbury territory. Pass in front, can't connect. Rebound picked up by Judd. She comes up through center with it, into the zone. Shot, rebounds loose, behind the net, everyone's tied up. Puck comes up the side. Now Llewellyn heads the other way, it's back for St. Charles, D to D. Off the boards, back into the zone. Pass in front, doesn't connect. Llewellyn takes it out. Looks like Birdie with the puck. She gets a shot, blocker save from Rangette. Now St. Charles trips it up out of the zone. In the neutral zone, a couple of Llewellyn players in the way. They send that over for Shea. Back to Bryant. Bryant with some speed. Reverses here. Cross ice. And we're in the zone. In comes Carrington. She cuts with it. Can't get the shot. Morsey stops her. Emma sends that behind the net. Gation picks it up for Llewellyn. Oh, close call at the blue line. Now Judd comes out with it back in the zone. Low shot, blocker save. Llewellyn chips it up, kept in at the blue line by Manini. She's got a battle with Gation, help from Angus. Puck comes over the blue, Judd picks it up. Tries to get that over, hits a shin pad. Llewellyn in the corner, knocked away. They send it to the blue line, but Carrington picks it up. Carrington gets that up for Avery. A little bit of trouble. They get back on side. Puck comes in from Jolie. Her shot saved. Rebound comes out into the corner. Llewellyn chips it up. They get over the blue, over the red, dump it in. Down low, St. Charles sends it around. Shea puts that over for the goalie to hang on to. Off the draw, Llewellyn gets it back to the blue line. Shot goes wide. Now St. Charles gets that out. Llewellyn picks it up in their zone. Pressure from SCC. Llewellyn circling around. Now we chip it up. I think that's Snowy with it. Yeah, Snowy for Llewellyn. Pressure from Harris. They're tied up in the corner. Get it out front. Can't connect. Llewellyn chips it up. We keep it in the zone. Alyssa Bryant circles back down low. Llewellyn gets it up to the blue line. Harris gets a piece of it, slows her down. And back in St. Charles territory. Chip it up center. Harris through some traffic. Tries to chip it up over the red line. JoJo sends it the other way. Puck comes out. Carrington chips it out of the zone. Llewellyn gets it back to Chichu. Over for JoJo. JoJo over the red line, over the blue. Drop pass. Birdie sends it back. But Manini gets it, walks in. Her shot up top in the net. 1-0 St. Charles. Avery Manini, solid effort, gets the puck out of the zone. Top shelf. They off the draw, everyone's tied up. Llewellyn gets it in the zone. They fire it around, up the boards. Comes back behind the net for St. Charles. Judd chips it up off the glass and out. It's going to be icing. Off the draw, it's loose, picked up by Carly Shea. She chips it into the zone. Emma Moore fires it back out. Bryant gets it for St. Charles. Bryant cuts up through center. Can't get over the blue line. Now Harris with the puck. Over for Shea. We get the blue line and it's knocked back out. Now we get it deep in the zone. At the blue line, Bryant keeps it in, gets it to Carly. She kicks it in the zone. Shot from Harris goes over the net. Deflection. Down low, pressure. Puck's in the corner. Back to the blue line. Slap shot, glove save. Off the draw, puck comes around. Loose, picked up by Ryan Snow. She circles back in her zone for Llewellyn, chips it up. Llewellyn through the neutral zone, enters St. Charles territory. Their shot saved, sent into the corner. Llewellyn gets the rebound. They send it back to the blue line. D-to-D pass, blocked by Shea, but kept in by Llewellyn. Llewellyn sends it back down low. Behind the net, try to walk out. Defense steps up to stop that. Now Carrington chips it up. Gets some help from Kalen. Puck stays in the corner. Now Llewellyn sends it around the other way. Chip it up to the blue line. It's kept in, but now Avery Manini gets that out. She takes the puck down low. Hits the brakes. Walks out front, gets a shot. Goalie makes the save. Puck's back to the blue line. We keep that in. Jolie after it now, sends it around the net. Carly with some pressure, gets a piece of it. Llewellyn sends it back the other way. Llewellyn in the corner, pressure from Carly, support from Bryant. They keep that down low. Bryant keeps the pressure going, comes out with it behind the net, skates it out. Comes in the high slot, gets a shot through traffic, hits a player in front. Rebound sent down low. Bryant behind the net with it. Coming out. Leaves it for the D. The D take it down low. Comes back for Bryant. She walks in. Into the corner. Behind the net. Pass out front. Shot. Save. Whistle goes. Back for Judd, her shot on net, glove save. Llewellyn sends it back for Chichu. She fires it around the boards. Puck comes out in the neutral zone. Back in the St. Charles territory. Manini gets that for St. Charles. Behind the net for Judd. Judd up for Shea. Shea gets that out of the zone. Offside.
So how you doing? You like your job? It's not bad. That's awesome. Sometimes it's like better. Sometimes all of these
Llewellyn gets it off the draw. They send it back to Trinity. Trinity chips it up, but Carrington's in the way. Carrington for Bryant. Bryant sends it down low. In the corner, Llewellyn chips it up. Pressure from Manini keeps it in. She's in the high slot. She gets a move, 2 moves, gets a shot. Barsanti gets a pad on that. Jojo gets the rebound. Back to the blue line. Bryant keeps that in. She comes across the blue, cuts into the high slot, gets a shot just over the net. Now Jojo sends that out, but Carrington keeps it in at the blue line. Down low, Manini with the puck in the corner. Pressure from Chichu knocks it away. Tries to get that out. Now Birdie finds a puck. She chips it up through center. It's back for Mini Manini. She gets up for Angus. There we go, and kick it into the zone. Sent out by Llewellyn. Both teams on a line change. Back to 5-on-5. Puck's at the blue line. We keep it in. Shea with the puck. Sorry for that angle. Shot off Barsanti into the corner. Chipped up by Llewellyn, but Bryant keeps that in. Oh, she sends that across to Leah Gallo. They were teammates last year, but not right now. Gallo into the zone with under a minute to go. Loses the puck, and out comes Bryant with it. Bryant it's a shot, blocker save. Rebound comes out into the corner to the blue line. Shea gets a piece of it, squeaks out into the zone. Nice move, gets it back for St. Charles. Close call. On a line change, we're gonna get too many players. Oh, power play for Llewellyn with 30 seconds to go. All right, here we go, 5-on-4. Back to the blue line. Bryant gets it, fires it up the boards and out. Barsanti plays it for Emma. Emma chips it up the boards. Allen starts to break out. They get over the blue. Manini gets it back for St. Charles. Takes a second. That's the end of the period. Second period action. Llewellyn gets it in the zone. Ringette sends it back in the corner. I think with the timer going properly. Got a minute to go in the power play. We get the puck out of the zone. There we go. icing coming up against Llewellyn. Alright, there we go. 13-10, 4 seconds to go in St. Charles bench minor. Puck is dropped. Angus keeps it in zone. Choo-Choo gets it behind the net. Chips it up to Birdie, back for Choo-Choo. Up the side for JoJo. Pressure from Harris. Gets the puck back in the zone. She drives the net. Can't get the shot. Cleared out by Llewellyn. Judd's going to get it. She has a second. And she sends it all the way down. Knocked out of the air by Choo-Choo. She gets it to JoJo. JoJo up to the blue line. Knocked away by Bryant. Llewellyn brings it back in the zone. Drop pass from Choo-Choo. They get that over for JoJo. She gets a shot deflected high into the corner. Back to 5-on-5. Puck goes behind the net. In the corner, Bryant chips at it. Gation battles with her. Now Bryant sends it behind the net. Oh, comes off the side. Bounces away. Now Llewellyn sends it down low. Judd picks up the puck, chips it out of the boards and out. It's going to be icing. Back to the D, they fired up the boards. Carrington chips at it, it's kept in by Llewellyn. Llewellyn comes in the slot, they get a shot over the net. On the sidewall, Jolie chips it up, Llewellyn keeps it in. Pass in front, they're tied up. Puck goes in the corner. Now around behind the net. Manini gets it up to Manini and out of the zone. Pressure from St. Charles, keeps him behind the net. Llewellyn chips it up at the blue line. Manini keeps it in. Her shot, save, rebound from the other Manini. Held on to Brooklyn to Avery, and Barsanti's going to hang on to that. Off the draw, Llewellyn picks it up and skates out of the zone. Enters St. Charles territory. Pass in front, goes behind the net, well, deflected behind the net. Up the side, Llewellyn pinches to keep that in from Snowy. Battle down low. Two St. Charles players against two Llewellyn players. Puck comes out front, can't get a shot, that's knocked away by St. Charles. Now we get that 11-17. Not sure who's who. One of those is Harris. I keep getting them mixed up. Sorry about that. Back to the blue line. Judd gets a shot off a shin pad. Rebound from 17. She walks in, waits a second. Glove save from Barsanti. Judd pinches, keep that in. Battle in the corner. Puck comes up the side. Llewellyn sends it behind the net. Now Snowy coming up on a rush. Takes it into the zone. In the high slot, glove save, rebound cleared away by Manini. Puck on the sidewall picked up by Avery, getting some help from 17. Llewellyn's there to keep it in there, shot misses. Carly Shea with the puck now, fires it up the side, out of the zone. Ryan Snow gets it back for Llewellyn. Sends that cross ice. Puck goes behind the net. Llewellyn with possession. To the blue line. Kept in by Choo-Choo. Behind the net. Llewellyn gets it. Pass out front. Big save. And Ringett hangs on to it. the draw. JoJo gets a shot, deflected. Chloe makes a save. Rebound cleared out by Alyssa. Now, high stick called. In the neutral zone, Chichu fires it in to St. Charles territory. Behind the net, Brooklyn gets it, fires it around the other way. Carrington's after it. Carrington up the boards to Avery. Avery to Jolie. Jolie into Llewellyn zone, takes it wide, gets a shot. It's loose in front, cleared out by JoJo. Brooklyn's there to keep it in. In the corner, Angus after it. She gets there, sends it back to Bryant. Bryant's for Manini. She's got some pressure, so she'll put that deep in the zone. Avery gets it in the corner. Got some pressure from JoJo. JoJo coming up the side with it. Through the neutral zone. JoJo dumps it in. Behind the net, Bryant to Manini. Up to Manini. Brooklyn to Avery. Avery gets it in the zone. Pressure from Chichu. Trinity gets it around the other way. She gets in the zone, gets a shot, glove save. Keeps the puck in the zone, gets a shot on net. Judd picks up the rebound, ships it off the glass, out of the zone. Isomaved off a St. Charles player. 17's in for St. Charles. Gets that almost to 11 in front. Now kept in. Llewellyn fires it off the boards at the blue line. St. Charles keeps it in. 11 gets it, gets a shot, save, rebound from 17, held on to by Barsanti. Everyone's all tied up. Llewellyn chips it up. I don't know. Now they chip it up out of the zone. It's back for Kalen. Kalen finds Jolie. Jolie gets it up for Avery. Avery over the blue line. Drives the net, gets a shot. Rebound goes wide. Kept in by Llewellyn. They send it behind the net. Jolie with some pressure. Oh, almost got a call there. Snowy stood up though. Now Llewellyn try and get up the side. A couple St. Charles players in the way. They send it back for Kalen. Kalen across. Oh, one-timer from Bryant. Couldn't connect. Bryant sends it down low for Manini. Avery out front. Cleared away by Llewellyn. Now Bryant's there to keep it in. Her shot blocked by Gallo. Gallo turns with it. Skates out of the zone. Pressure from Bryant though. Gets it right back. She gets that for Kalen. Now Bryant comes out with it into the zone. Her shot steered away. Part of the family now. Now into the corner, Llewellyn gets it. They chip it across. Comes out of the zone. Brooklyn Manini gets it back. She gets the red line, dumps it in. Pressure from St. Charles, but Llewellyn gets it up to the red line. Over the blue, onside. Puck held on to by Ringette. All right, back in Llewellyn territory. 17 tries to work it out front. Chipped away by Llewellyn, kept in, then knocked out. Bryant gets it back. Offside. Close call there. Alright, send that back for Kalen. Kalen fires up the boards. Shea chips at it. Llewellyn keeps it in. Judd gets it back behind the net. Pressure from Llewellyn. We get it to 17. Back for Kalen. Kalen gets hooked. No call. 11 to 17. 17 dumps it in after the red line. Carly with the puck in the corner. Rick gets it out front. Shot from Jolie. Deflected into the corner. Puck comes back to the blue line. Judd keeps that in. Angus chips that towards the nets. Bouncing puck cleared away by Llewellyn. Kalen sends it down low for Avey. Her shot deflected behind the net. Carrington gets there. She's got some pressure. Llewellyn comes up center with it. Judd pinches, gets a piece of it. Comes up through center. Manini knocks it to the blue line. Gets some help from Angus. Now puck goes behind the net. Judd gets it back for St. Charles. Off the boards, out of the zone. Carrington finds it. Takes it into Llewellyn Park territory. Pass. Couldn't get through traffic. Llewellyn sends it around the other way. Llewellyn dumps it in the zone. That's going to be icing. And off the draw, gets back to the blue line. Shot from Manini into the glove. Manini sends it down low. Llewellyn finds it, chips it up the boards. Kept in by Carrington. Llewellyn sends it around. Manini's there to keep it in. Brooklyn's there to keep it in. Puck comes out to the blue line. This time Avery's there for it. Avery over for Alyssa. Alyssa up for Jolie. Jolie gets the red line, dumps it in. On net, Barsanti's going to hang on to that. Late change from Llewellyn. They're kicked out of the draw. Puck goes down low. 17 gets there. Puts it out front. Cleared away by Llewellyn though. 17 gets it back. The hash marks back to the blue line. Judd keeps it in. Gets past one. Pass in front for Avery. Carly. Her shot saved by Barsanti. Now Carly puts that in front for 17. Her shot, top corner. On a screenshot too, so nice play. At intermission, I'll figure out who's 11, who's 17. Sorry about the misunderstanding. D-to-D pass for Llewellyn. Frood trips it up to Gation. Puck cleared away by Shea. Llewellyn gets it back in the zone. Can't get a shot off though. 11 keeps her outside. 11 with a good battle on the sidewall. Puck comes up. Llewellyn finds it. Gation back for more. Her shot deflected into the corner. Frood keeps the puck in. And now Gation gets a shot off the blocker. Back to the blue line for Emma Moore. Her shot gets on net. Ringette tries to pull it in. It comes loose. Rebounds loose. Body's in front of the net. Whistle goes. Chloe's got the puck under her glove. We're all good. Off the draw, it's back for Bryant. She skates it behind the net, hands it off to Manini. Manini up for Angus, kept in at the blue line by Moore. Now Carrington gets it over the blue, and Jolie's after it. Takes it into the zone. Pressure from Llewellyn, gets it out. Bryant gets it, it's in her feet though. Now she gets control in the corner. Comes up the side with it. Angus up for Manini. Manini pulls that pass in like she's got a magnet on her stick. Shot off the pad of Barsanti. Away it goes. Carrington's there to keep it in. Now Avery circles in the high slot. Couldn't get that shot. Almost got to Jolie though. Less than a minute to go in the second. The puck's back for Brooklyn. Brooklyn for Alyssa. Alyssa gets it back in the zone. Emma Moore gets it out of the zone. Now Llewellyn brings it in. Bryant stops him at the ringette line. Turns with it. Gets it out. Morsey stops her at the blue line. And now Rowan Frood takes the puck in the zone for Llewellyn. Puck goes behind the net. Bryant's after it. Gets it over for Angus. Angus chips it out of the zone. Emma Moore's there. 30 seconds to go in the second. 2-0 St. Charles. Shot. Glove save. Off the draw, Bryant sends it behind the net for Manini. She sends it up center. No shot fired. Now Carrington sends it up for Avery. Avery gets in. Top corner off the post, maybe the crossbar. But either way, that medal is the goalie's best friend. Off the draw, Llewellyn carries it out. It's going to be the end of 2. Was that crossbar or post? Okay.
I gave
third period action. Puck's back in the Llewellyn zone. Puck picked up by Froude. She gets it over the line into the zone for her teammate. Shot deflected away. Chloe sends it in the corner. Oh, puck's in there somewhere. All right, Avery Manini through the neutral zone, over the blue line. Gets it in, cuts to the net. Barsanti knocks that away. Pass in front, cleared away by Llewellyn. Whistle goes. I think the net's off. Yeah. Now we'll get 11-17 out there. So 11. Brooklyn Harris, 17, Jenna Cole. Let's see if I remember that now. All right, Bryant keeps it in. Harris after it. Cole gets a piece of it. Cole behind the net with it. Gets it out front. Bounces away. Cleared out by Llewellyn. Brooklyn Manini gets back for St. Charles. Trinity over for Corson. Corson up center. In Gation's feet. She knocks it down. Now Brooklyn Manini gets that out into the neutral zone. Jojo sends it back to Brooklyn. Brooklyn to Alyssa. Comes up center. Sent back by Chichu for Brooklyn. Over for Alyssa. Alyssa gets it up for J. Cole. J. Cole for Brooklyn Harris. Over for Bryant. Bryant shot off Jojo's shin pad into the corner. Llewellyn fires it around the boards. Jojo picks it up, chips it up. Hands up for an icing. Draw, puck goes into the corner. Gallo gets there for Llewellyn. Sends it down low for Emma. Emma to Rowan. Brooklyn Manini keeps that in the zone. Now Emma gets it to Leah. Can't connect on the next pass. Pressure from St. Charles, but Llewellyn gets it into her zone. Judd keeping her outside. Llewellyn goes behind the net. Pressure from Avery Manini. Gets it back. Comes up the side with it. Knocked away by Llewellyn. Llewellyn chips it up in the neutral zone. Carly Shea off the bench. Gets it, chips it up. Leah Gallo finds it. 5 players, do wait to make sure. Now Emma Moore gets the red line, dumps it in. Chloe plays it for Kaylin. Kaylin and Emma battle behind the net. Net goes off. Off the draw, Alyssa Bryant sends it over for Brooklyn Manini. Manini up the side, gets it up center, kept in by Llewellyn. They get a shot, that's blocked by Manini. Now in the corner, Bertrand gets it, I think. She's getting pressure from Harris. Now J. Cole in the mix. Loose puck behind the net, picked up by Bryant. She's got some pressure, she's tied up. She sends that around for Manini. Manini to Cole. Cole chips it up center for Bryant. 3-on-1 the other way. Alyssa Bryant gets in. Cross ice pass for Shea. Oh, almost had top shelf, but goes over the net. Now Brooklyn Manini sends it back in the zone onside. D-to-D pass for Llewellyn, and Ryan Snow comes up to the neutral zone. Takes the puck wide into the zone, hits the brakes. Pressure from Jenna Cole. And Brooklyn Harris gets a loose puck. She cuts through center. Nice little move. Back into the Llewellyn zone. Drives the net. Gets out in front. Knocked away. J. Cole gets the loose puck. Tries to get that back to the blue line. Can't connect. Judd gets there behind the net. Off the glass. Can't see what happened there. Bryant picks up the puck, takes it down low. Chips up the board, kept in by Llewellyn. They're all alone in the slot. Taylor gets a shot, and Llewellyn's on the board. Back in our zone, Llewellyn has a puck. Take it, send it back to the blue line. Chichu gets a shot. Big save. Off the draw, Manini sends it down low. Brooklyn Manini behind the net now, gets it for Kalen. Kalen for Jolie. Jolie sends it out of the zone. Picked up by Rowan Frood for Llewellyn. She chips that back for Brooklyn Manini. Brooklyn Manini takes it down low, circles back, gets it up for Carrington. Carrington back for Manini. Brooklyn goes behind the net, around for Kalen. Up for Jolie now. Jolie gets it up out of the zone. Avery Manini finds it in the Llewellyn territory. She gets a shot. Pad save from Barsanti. Puck goes in the corner. Chipped up by Llewellyn. Judd keeps it in at the blue line. Her shot. Glove save. Harris gets out of the net. Puck cleared away by Llewellyn. On the other side, Bryant battles to keep it in the zone. Puck goes behind the net. Pressure from Cole and Harris. Now Snowy gets it out of the zone. Hands up for an icing. Just under 7 minutes to go in regulation. 1 goal game. Off the draw, everyone's all tied up. Llewellyn finds it. Corson sends it up center. Snow takes it into the zone. Cole gets it back, hands it off to Harris. Harris to the neutral zone, gets it back into Llewellyn territory. She gets some help from Bryant. Bryant comes out with the puck. Takes it down low, into the corner. Comes out with it, going in the high slot. She's going to fire one here. Glove save. Off the draw, back to the for Jolie. She puts it in the zone. Judd keeps it in. Jojo gets it back for Llewellyn. Jojo fires at her on the boards. Pressure from Angus keeps it in. And now the puck squeaks out and Judd's back for it. Judd over for Avery. Avery up through the neutral zone, takes it in. Shot deflected behind the net. On the sidewall, Llewellyn gets it up and out. Brooklyn Manini battles. Puck comes in the zone. Angus sends it out for Avery. Avery brings it back in Llewellyn territory. Slap shot saved. Rebound can't be held on to. Jojo sends it away. Behind the net, Carrington gets a loose puck, sends it in the corner for Angus. Angus back for Judd. She's on a backhand, over for forehand. Down low for Angus. Angus past one, gets a shot, glove save. Avery with the puck, gets it over for Brooklyn. Knocked out by Llewellyn. They get a pass in front, shot off the crossbar, rebounds loose. Wingette makes the save. Oh! Cross check in front of the net, no call from the official. Net is off, whistle goes. Harris ties up, puck gets over the blue line, icing coming up. Off the draw, everyone's all tied up. Bryant comes out with the puck into the zone, sends it cross ice. Shea gets a shot on net. Oh, rebound picked up by Llewellyn. Back for Judd now. Judd hits the brakes, comes up the side with it. She's got time and space, takes it in the zone. In the corner, behind the net. Tries to get that in front for Bryant. Gets it to Harris, goes in the corner now. There we go, nice work from Cole to keep that in. Puck saved by Barsanti. Shea in the corner gets a piece of it. Now Llewellyn heads out with it. Gation chips it into the zone, that's gonna be icing. Off the draw, pressure from Angus, gets a puck down low. In the corner, Carrington's after it, she gets it back to the blue line. Slap shot from Manini, deflected over the net. Picked up by Llewellyn. Chip it up, it's kept in. Now around the other way, back this way. Up the side, Brooklyn Manini's there to keep it in. Now Ryan Snow gets it for Llewellyn. D-to-D pass. Frood gets it out of the zone. Back check from Angus. Gets some help from Manini. Puck goes into the corner. Brooklyn Manini comes out with it. Chips it up the boards. Gets some pressure from Llewellyn, and in comes big sister Avery. Avery takes the puck. Chips it up center, just out of the reach of everybody. On net. No icing. Barsanti's going to hang on to that. Jojo keeps it in for Llewellyn. Brooklyn Harris gets it for St. Charles. Around the boards for Carrington. Carrington gets that past Chichu. Up for Avery. Avery gets a shot. Blocker save from Barsanti. Rebound goes behind the net. Avery picks it up. Sends it down low for Cole. Cole finds Bryant. Bryant gets a shot off of Mellon. Puck comes out. And Brooklyn Manini's back for it. She's got pressure from Llewellyn. Puck's over for Cole. Cole puts up behind the net. Bryant gets there. Bryant comes out with it, going for a skate. She's got Jay Cole with her. Bryant shot, glove save, held on to by Barsanti. So just over 2 minutes to go in regulation. 2-1 St. Charles, and I predict Llewellyn will pull their goalie shortly. Next time the puck comes in St. Charles zone. Off the draw, Llewellyn gets it back for Frood. The sidewall. More to Frood. Bryant pinches to keep that in. Comes out with it. Takes it behind the net. She's got coverage. Sends it down low for Harris. Now Emma Moore gets it back for Llewellyn. Pressure there, and in comes Leah Gallo. She gets it for Llewellyn. She chips it up, but Jay Cole sends it back in the zone. Puck's fired around the boards. Nice move to dodge the hit. Judd gets in over the net. Now Shea sends it down low. Cole after it. She gets it in the corner, ties up, gets some help from Harris. Puck's in the high slot. Carly Shea sends it back for Kaylin. Kaylin sends it back in the zone. Icing called. Now Llewellyn will pull, or no, 1:02 to go. Still 5-on-5. All right, puck is dropped. 1 minute left in regulation. Kaylin chips it up for Alyssa, just out of her reach. Whistle goes. Timeout called from Llewellyn. You know it.
Nothing.
Pressure's on Steve. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. All right, here we go. Empty net for Llewellyn, 6-on-5. 55 seconds left in regulation. Okay, off the draw, everyone's tied up. Wow. They're tied up, send it behind the net, around. Tread with some pressure, she pins it on the other side. Back the other way, Avery gets it. Oh, Carrington, Jolie, loose puck. Sent out front, knocked away. Now it's cleared out by Angus. 20 seconds. Icing called.
Slow?
18 seconds, still 6-on-5. All right, big face-off here for Avery Manini. Oh, her helmet's undone. Okay. I don't know why a quick whistle on that one. Why were we kicked out? I guess she came in too soon. Now battle down low. 10 seconds. Manini gets it for Bryant. Bryant gets it over the blue line. That's going to be icing. Three seconds. 3.4. Down low, Judd gets it, fires it around. That's going to be all she wrote. 2-1 win for St. Charles. Redemption from the last game. Tying the series up with Llewellyn for regular season.